Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. Welcome to Ruby's Room. It's my show on the web. It's about mental health. It's part of BBC Headroom. And this week we're going to be talking about OCD, which is short way of saying obsessive compulsive disorder. I actually have just a tiny bit of that. I know this sounds weird, but before I start filming, I always have to be wearing my lucky red underpants. Nope, they're white. I gotta change. Sorry, gotta change it to red. Okay, well, I'm wearing the lucky red underpants, so we can start filming now. And action! Okay, come on, we're gonna go get some milk. You know, this thing, we always have obsessive thoughts, you know, a lot of us, like you have to knock on wood, or you have to wear the lucky red underpants, or you have to turn off the oven before you leave home. But it only becomes a problem when, you know, it really has a bad impact on your life. Actually, about 2% of the population have this, and a lot of famous people have it, like Paul Gascoigne, David Beckham, Billy Bob Thornton. You know, the thing with OCD, it really lowers your self-esteem, you know, and it actually can ruin family life and career and, you know, whatever else is going on. Most people are really embarrassed about it. Well, I have this is OCD. I have to pull my hair until my arm actually falls off. But the good news is it can be treated. Okay, got the milk. So actually OCD has two main features. One is compulsions and one is obsessions. Obsessions is when you have kind of involuntary urges. You can't do anything about it. It includes fear of dust. My mother had that. She couldn't get off the floor. She always had 2 sponges in her hand, and she crawled around the floor chasing dust balls for about 200 years. Another one is kind of disturbing thoughts about hurting yourself or hurting others. Then there's a fear that, you know, there's not order in your house and you have a fear of throwing things away. It's just, this is obsessive compulsive disorder. There's lots of things. Okay, compulsions. So people with OCD really try to overcome their obsessions by, ironically, performing compulsions. It's kind of mental and physical repetition of things, and it's rituals, so they can't stop themselves. And it includes washing, counting, hoarding things, putting things in order, or mentally, it's like saying phrases over and over again in their heads. Can I show you what my particular OCD is? This. My children did this. Would this drive you nuts? I mean, if you weren't here, I would actually get this. I gotta have order. This is insane. You would put it up here and just put it in some kind of alphabetical order or color-coded. But look, wouldn't this drive you nuts? Look! What's your OCD?
Basically, I sort of count, kind of touching, counting kind of rituals, and I used to twitch.
Well, how do you count touching?
Just like, for example, having to touch things a certain amount of times.
How many?
It used to change all the time, but say like 3 times.
And how did that start? Like, were you a little baby and you were doing it?
When I was a child, my grandmother used to change the furniture around, and from a really young age, she used to tell me that good things happen if you move furniture around, and if bad things happen, you move furniture around and it changes things.
Is it about being lucky or unlucky, or you think something terrible is going to happen?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Like not walking on the cracks as a kid on the pavement, that sort of thing.
What would you think would happen if you walked on a crack?
I didn't know, but my grandmother told me it was bad luck. So everything was bad luck.
So what was the worst that happened?
When I was about 15, I trained as a professional dancer, and I joined a dancing agency, and they were always telling us to lose weight. So we all, basically all of us became anorexic. And then it just kind of, it progressed, and then I had a bereavement. My mother passed away, and that's when my OCD just went really haywire. When my mum was ill, I used to, when I was with her, I used to kind of try and twitch her illness away from her and goodness towards her.
How would you do that?
Just literally by twitching.
Like this?
Yeah, but very, very like, you can't even notice it. Or like if I went for a drink, I'd go and get a glass of water, I'd maybe touch the thing once or twice. Did I feel okay? No, I had to touch it again until I kind of felt okay.
Did you ever feel okay? Or do you have to keep touching it?
Yes, you do get to the point where you think maybe it's a lucky number like 3 or something. You touch something a certain amount of times and then you think, okay, I feel all right now. But of course you don't, because you have to do it again later on and again and again, and it just sort of escalates.
So carrying out these compulsions makes you feel less anxious, but also makes the urge to perform them again even stronger. Of course, this is a loop, so you feel better if your rituals bring your anxiety down, but this can become almost the only way of escaping from the distressing thoughts, and that's the main reason why OCD can be so persistent and difficult to overcome. What do you do then to cure the OCD?
I went to and did an NLP course.
Which is neuro-linguistic training.
Programming, yeah.
Programming.
It's almost like self-hypnosis. A technique that really helped me was to imagine the OCD on a screen, or the compulsion, or whatever it is you're scared of, on a screen, and then make it smaller, and then click and make it into a blank screen.
How long did you keep the OCD away?
Half an hour.
That's
Literally.
it?
Well, to start with, half an hour. The more I found, I did this course, it was an intensive course of 7 days. The more I found that eventually it would be like an hour, 2 hours, a whole day. Then it'd be a whole month.
And are you better now?
I'm better now, yes.
Yeah. You don't ever catch yourself?
No. Basically, what happened is, because I'm a stand-up comedian, and I did a comedy course recently because I haven't performed for 4 years at all.
Because you were too scared?
Because of the OCD, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, people would find that, you know what I mean, if you were touching stuff, you could put that in your comedy.
I have, yes.
All right. There are 2 main recommended treatments for OCD, CBT and antidepressant medication. CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, is recommended as the first form of treatment. The skills you learn in CBT can help you feel better by spotting the patterns of your thought or behavior and then change them. Antidepressants. Antidepressants are developed to treat depression, but they also seem to help people with OCD. Just be aware that doctors don't recommend these for young people, only for adults. So you never told your friends or your family?
No, I haven't told anybody.
Really?
Nobody
well,
yet.
you're telling them.
I know.
Yeah.
I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah. What makes you do that then?
I think now that I've said it on stage to a whole heap of strangers, then, friends and family.
Why so ashamed about
I don't
something?
know.
You know what I mean?
It's funny, isn't it? If you cut your arm, you're like, oh, look, I've cut my arm. But if you've got something sort of that's mental, you tend to think, people think that you're a freak or something, and, you don't want people to know that you have a sort of mental, I don't know, disorder, if you want to call it that.
I think people should know you have a mental disorder, because I think more people have mental disorders than don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think it's better to open your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also found...
sing out, Louise.
But I found by talking about it on stage, it kind of put the OCD away from me as well. It's like something I was talking about, not something that was in my head.
Gets rid of the poison.
It does, totally, yeah.
Okay, so first step, tell your family and friends, don't be embarrassed, because maybe they can help you with a strategy to tackle the OCD. The other thing is you can join a self-help group, because these people have been on the same journey, so they could give you advice. And to get in touch with them, just look up ocduk.org. The other thing is get in touch with your GP, tell them about your problem.